I'm Ed Bates again from Kilworth Chiropractic Clinic, and welcome to today's Daily Dose. So, a lot of patients ask us why they always feel like they have to crack their own necks, and is cracking your own spine or your neck bad for you? Now, before I explain whether it's right or wrong, I think it's important to understand a little bit about the physiology and why you would want to crack your neck in the first place. So, your neck, as we've talked about, is made up of these 7 blocks of bone, the vertebra. Okay, and they're stacked one on top of the other. And over time, what can happen is if you have increased stress or tension, areas of your neck, areas of your spine, these vertebrae can literally become stuck. And when joints are not moving properly, you have little sort of stretch receptors, little gauges in and around the joints from there within the tissues around the joints. And they're basically communicating with the brain. And they send messages to the brain saying that they're stuck and that they need to move. And so what happens is then you then provide them some kind of stretch or self-adjustment that gaps or stretches the joint, and often that causes a crack or a pop. Now, as I'm sure some of you that do crack your own spines can you can testify, the crack or the pop feels amazing. Now, why does it feel so amazing? Well, because as soon as you crack the joint, it actually causes the release of several feel-good chemicals, including oxytocin, neurotensin, and endorphins. And aside from making you feel good, these hormones and chemicals also decrease stress. They also decrease pain. They decrease inflammation, and at the same time make you happier. So it gives you a real lift, and it just feels good. Incidentally, these are actually the same hormones that cause the so-called runner's high for you runners out there. Now, unfortunately, like any drug, soon afterwards, the effect wears off. And that's when you feel like you need to do it again. And the reason why this happens is that when you crack your own neck, you're not actually releasing the stuck joint, rather than you're stretching the joints above or below the stuck joint. And these joints are actually having to move too much. And they're therefore starting to move too easily because they're having to compensate for the joints that are stuck. In other words, they're becoming hypermobile. They're moving too much and moving too easily. But the reality is the actual stuck joint is actually getting stiffer and stiffer. So the problem ultimately is getting worse. And this problem slowly and steadily gets worse and worse and worse. And if you remember from our video on the causes of arthritis and why we get arthritis, 2 of the main reasons is improper motion and improper loading. So if you continue to crack your own neck, the feeling of relief gets shorter and shorter, and thus the need to crack it gets greater, plus the problem's actually getting worse. So what should you do? Well, you need to see a chiropractor. As a chiropractor, my job is to locate those stuck joints in your spine, what we call subluxations, and with a very specific and gentle adjustment, restore normal movement, restore proper biomechanics, and restore proper nerve signaling. So in summary, is it bad to continually crack your neck? Yes, it is, simply because the longer those stuck areas remain, the more distorted and the more arthritic your spine will become. And to make matters worse, the same thing happens to the compensating areas above and below that are moving too much, because over time, they too will undergo wear and tear. They too will start stiffening up, because too much motion is as bad as too little motion. So the next time you feel you want to crack your neck, just ask yourself, do you want instant but short-lived gratification, or do you want long-lasting spinal health? If you want the latter, please give us a call. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. And again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us. And in the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay happy.